I am a single mom to a 3-year-old little girl. I work full-time as a phlebotomist, commuting an hour each way. My name is Madison, and I am a miraculous mama.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Miraculous Mamas podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Joy, and we believe in empowering women through storytelling and education. And I am joined here today with my lovely husband. Welcome, Vito Presta, to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I feel very honored.
You should.
No, it's funny because obviously we live together. I watch you do podcasts all the time, and I watch you talk to different guests and whatnot, and I actually get nervous coming on this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like you have some serious guests on. Like, you have good, like, awesome people who come on, and I just want to make sure that I can provide enough value for your listeners because
you live up to the hype.
Yeah, well, it's not even hype because it's legit. Like, you had some.
Thank you, babe.
You had some really good guests on last year.
I did,
and so, yeah, I do get a little nervous.
Well, welcome. Thanks. I did. I feel like this last year I was super blessed with people who agreed to come on and, or reached out and wanted to come on, some amazing experts and big people that I'm like, what? You want to come on my podcast?
Yeah, I'm not even in the mom community. And you're like, Vito, so-and-so reached out to me. She's coming on the podcast. I was like, no way, dude. Like, that's like you. It's fun. It's exciting. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Well, welcome to the show. So happy 2-year anniversary.
Yeah. Can you believe it? So it's funny when we were engaged, ready to be married, everyone, like the guys I work with, they were like, oh, you love her? You know, I'm like, yeah. I'm totally in love with her. It's awesome. I'm so excited to get married. And they're like, oh, just wait till year 2. After year 2, I don't know what happens. It all goes downhill. And I was like, okay.
Because you work with your brother. No. And your dad.
Different guys. Like, yeah, no, we have other guys who work with us and then like working with vendors or whatever. And they're like, so year 2 came around. I'm like, I don't know. This is still awesome. Like, I still love her. And they're like, oh, after you have a kid, once you have a kid, it gets, then the stress comes out and then the fighting. And I'm like, okay, we've had a kid. I'm like, it's been almost 6 months. And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like it's even better than before. Mm-hmm. So I just find it funny how like everyone wants you to wait for the worst to come. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what we're doing, if we're doing it wrong, because I don't know. But it's
still so good.
Yeah, I have so much fun with you. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I love being with you. So yeah. I just hope that it continues. And happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. I love you, babe.
I love you.
I feel like that just wait, which I talk about it on here all the time. Mm-hmm. You just find that, I feel like with anything, I don't know if it's just like for lack of conversation or what. They're like, oh, just wait till, your wife's nagging you or whatever, or you hear it in the mom community a lot, It's like,
such a silly way to
live. Jovi's not sleeping well right now. And they're like, oh, well, wait till this happens, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, like you said, we've been married for 2 years.
Which I feel like it's been 10.
I know. We were saying that earlier. It's weird, but then also literally just a couple hours ago, you go, who are you? It's like I just picked up this person off of the street and married her and then had a baby with her.
You never feel that way?
Yeah. Sometimes I look at you and I'm like, who is this guy?
Like, we lived 2 completely separate lives for a very long time.
Yeah, long time.
And now we have a kid together, mm-hmm. and we sleep in the same bed.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird.
Excuse me. Yeah, I feel like, it does continue to get, it feels like, who are you? But then also, I've known you my whole life. Like you said, we've been together for 10 years. It's hard to imagine life before you. And I feel like that's how it is even now with a baby. It's hard to imagine life before her.
Yeah. So today I've been having thoughts like that, like, who are you? And then I was looking at Jovi and I'm like, so you didn't exist. And I was trying to make sense of it in my head. I'm like, you didn't exist. And then you were in your mom's. I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Life is, it's too hard. I feel like sometimes there's a wall in your brain to have you not understand it because it would just blow your mind. So it's just like, you can't think of those things. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's what psychedelics are for.
Yeah. But sorry, just one more thing. So when I have those thoughts of who are you, I feel as if it's good for a relationship because then I'm like
fresh.
Yeah, I have to keep dating you.
Yeah.
You know, I have to keep flirting and whatever.
You have been very flirty today.
Well, I've been very hands-on today.
Very handsy today. How about that? I don't know about flirty,
about flirty.
Very handsy. Cool. So let's kind of dive into, I asked on Instagram what questions people had for us. And basically all of it is surrounding trying to conceive, postpartum, parenting, marriage, all of that good stuff.
Cool.
So I guess we'll start with the parenting part because I guess that's what we're in now. Although we're going to answer these parenting questions, I feel like we really haven't had to parent yet. Like she's still 5 months old. It's not like we're making, it's not like she's being disciplined or, we definitely have had to make decisions and we've had to, it's changed our lives for sure. And we're her parents. I don't know if we'll fight more like when it comes to like how we're going to discipline our kids.
Yeah. Parenting, I feel, starts even before the baby's born. Like we had one of our biggest fights while you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Because you are planning for the future and you are trying to figure things out. And parenting is beyond disciplining. That's a big part of parenting when they get to that age. Even the mindset that we're in right now, though, like, can we go on trips or even like going to the grocery store, having a child, you think differently. So the parenting part of that, I feel like has changed our lives completely. Mm-hmm. When Jovi was born, we were at, I was talking with my aunt and she's like, so what do you think? Just being a dad, being a parent. And I said, what did I say? I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was along the lines of people ask me, is it different having a baby? And the question doesn't even land because I feel as if once Jovi came out and I like watched her come out and you're just holding her and making eye contact, I feel as if you walk through a door into a whole different world that never existed before. Mm-hmm. And then the world you're walking out of never existed before. It's like a whole transformation, Mm-hmm. So whenever people ask me, is it different? I don't know what to say because I'm like, everything's different.
Right.
I don't even know where I'm at right now.
That's a good way to put it. And I feel like that basically described what I was saying where I can't picture life before. It is like you walked out of that world and into a different world. Like I look at who I was five years ago and I'm like, I do not know that person.
Right.
I do not know her at all.
Yeah, everything I ever worried about or doubted or was excited about, I couldn't even tell you anything of what it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a strange feeling.
Yeah.
It's a cool feeling.
What a trip.
Yeah. And then the idea of having more, I feel as if it's another door we're going to walk through, Where being a parent's cool, but being a parent of multiple... I couldn't even imagine.
Right. Well, we're going to have to. We're not pregnant. This isn't a pregnancy announcement podcast, but...
Jeez, I wish.
You're ready, huh?
Yeah, I've been ready since she legitimately a month after she was born.
Yeah.
I was bothering you. I was like, so when are we going to start trying again?
You're like, I want another one of these. Which we'll get into a little bit. If you have multiple credit cards, you know that tracking multiple balances, due dates, and website logins can be so stressful. And Upstart makes things simple with one monthly payment in one place. Upstart is the fast and easy way to get personal loan to pay off your debt all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple fixed monthly payment. Upstart finds smarter rates with trusted partners because they assess more than just your credit score. They believe you are more than just a number. And with a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans from $1,000 to $50,000. If debt is taking over your life, it is time to get a fresh start with Upstart. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/mamas. That's upstart.com/mamas. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know that we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/mamas. Okay, so what has been the hardest part about parenting that surprises you?
I can't speak to this. I feel that you are an incredible mom.
Thank you.
And I do my part as much as I can, but I'm working a lot.
Yeah.
And I probably am not the best dad.
It's not true.
But my life really hasn't changed as far as stress or responsibilities, or like I am still just am going to get work, you know, like that's like my job is to provide, I guess. And then when I come home, I love playing with her and holding her, and
you get the fun stuff.
Right. So it's like, I just feel like I have another best friend. Like we added a friend to our friend group. But like the waking up and all of that, you know, I don't.
Yeah.
Like you're a rock star. So
thanks, Boo. I think that the hardest part that surprises me is that I knew it would be hard. I didn't know it would be this hard. You know, my biggest concern was not getting enough sleep because I loved sleep. I still do. But somehow you just get through it and you just keep going, and it's like it doesn't even exist or matter. Although I do get decent sleep now. It's not. I'm not sleeping through the night because she's not sleeping through the night, but I still get enough.
You're rested.
Ish, yes.
In the beginning, it was rough.
Very. But I think the biggest part that surprises me is this whole new world of worry, because I've never been a worrier before, and I've never been a very anxious person. And having a child has brought on this whole world of worry, things that I've never had to think. I've only had to think about myself my entire life. Because even like being married, I'm not worried that, like, yeah, sometimes I have thoughts that something bad might happen to you and I get worried or whatever. But I also know that you're an adult and you can take care of yourself, and those things are out of my control, whatever. As a baby, I'm her sole source of like providing life and nurturement and, you know, everything. So my job is to protect and to nurture her. And there's just this whole world of worry that I didn't know about. I knew it was there. I just didn't know I would have it.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I've been worrying my whole life. So it was funny because when Jovi was born and we were at my parents' house or something, my brother was there and something had happened and I just didn't react. And I was like, oh, well, she'll figure it out, sort of thing. And my whole family was saying how they're like, Vito, we thought for sure you were going to be a stress case because I'm more of like a free thinker in my family. And I definitely stress more about like the future than my relatives. But I just haven't since Jovi's born. The stress hasn't hit me. It's not. So it doesn't linger, I guess. But so, for example, you were just giving her a bath, and I was downstairs working on some stuff, and in my head I heard her coughing, and I was like, she's in the bath, she's like coughing a lot. So it kicked in, and I ran upstairs, and you opened the door, and you guys were laughing. So, but I heard it as coughing. So like stuff like that, I guess the worry's there for sure, and you know your instincts kick in. But as far as like what's going to happen to her, or what if she gets abducted, or, you know,
the thoughts I have.
Yeah, thoughts like that. I mean, I have them, but I don't lose sleep over them, or, you know, like they just pass because maybe I don't want to think about them.
Yeah.
And, or maybe I'm just so seasoned at being a worrier.
Right.
that it doesn't, I just have like a solid underlying stress that I'm used to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which isn't good either, but.
Right. The next one plays off of worry. Like, what do each of you worry about the most when it comes to parenting? So what I worry about the most is like, I'm going to mess her up in some way that she's going to like have issues in the future.
That's not up to you. Unless you're unless you're an abusive parent, you cannot control what they perceive as traumatic or not. Mm-hmm. For example, when I was really young, the movie Scream was out, right? Yeah. And I was watching it with my brother and sister. My mom was in the kitchen like 10 steps away. And nobody was trying to scare me or anything. I just got scared from like not even a scary scene, but I vividly remember being like traumatized from it.
Yeah.
That was not bad parenting. That was not bad anything. It was just, I knew there was a scary movie on, and just knowing there was a scary movie on scared me, sort of thing, And now I hate that movie. So, and
I hate all scary
always
movies.
check all the closet doors. Cause,
right.
But that's not a parenting failure. I feel as if what worries me most as a parent, that my kid is going to be a bully. I feel as if I'm prepared for them to be bullied, because I feel as if I had a healthy level of bullying myself. I just couldn't stomach knowing that my kid was the bully.
Yeah.
That would, because, my mom would, sticks and stones, who cares what people, like, I feel like being bullied, at least the way I was bullied, obviously people get bullied extreme, and I'm not downplaying that at all, but the way I was, there were lessons to be learned of, like, doesn't matter what people say, all these things, and also stand up for yourself, and also, if these people are bullies, like, remove yourself, know? But like I said, it was a healthy level of bullying. I was never, like, beat up on or, which happens, and that's why I'm so afraid of any of my kids, especially girls.
Yeah, girls are
because girls
the
are
worst.
Bad. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
from what I hear,
the studies show though that boys do more physical bullying, which isn't good. But now, especially with social media, girls do cyberbullying, and it's emotional bullying. So they'll turn. Like nobody talked to this person today.
Yeah.
Everybody make fun of this person today. And now kids can't escape it. They're going home and being bullied online and socially. Oh, all my friends blocked me today. Like, what happened?
Yeah, no social media for our kids.
No.
For those who have already noticed.
Yeah.
So that would be my biggest fear. And I don't know why they would be. I was never a bully, or, we were always taught, whenever we would leave for school, my mom would say, I love you, keep Jesus in your heart, be a friend to somebody who doesn't have one. Every day. So maybe if we just try something along the same lines, it'll help, because there was a lot of situations where that rang in my head, and then I was able to, step in and be like, oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah. How much did you think that you knew about parenting before, and how much do you know now?
I knew everything about parenting, and now I know the same amount, because you know nothing about parenting, and I still know nothing. And anybody who gives you advice is fooling themselves. They're trying to make themselves feel better, because it's like, every kid's different.
Yeah, I think you can get a healthy level advice if you are seeking it. I think there's a lot of unwarranted advice out there, but kind of. There are ways. I feel like I follow some good accounts that I learn from, where maybe it brings on a different perspective that I wouldn't have thought of before. But again, like, every kid is different. Every experience is different, and we know nothing, and we're just figuring it out as we go. All right. We're going to take a quick break from our episode talking all about marriage after a baby and having a baby. And I want to talk to you quick about mental health, because having a kid can affect that. Marriage can affect that. There are so many factors that play into our mental health, and it is so important to take control. And that is why I love BetterHelp. They make it so easy for you to seek out professional counseling. You can send a message to your counselor anytime and communicate in a way that is convenient to you, whether that's texting, emailing, FaceTiming, however you feel comfortable communicating. They are committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if you ever need to, and it's affordable, way more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. Everything you share is always confidential, convenient, professional, affordable. And in fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So whatever you are facing today and you just want some extra help working through it, use BetterHelp. As a listener, you get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/mamas, and you can join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health, including myself. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/mamas.
So my perspective, you always say as a doula, right? When you have a client or a mom that comes in, you say, you know your body the best. You live with yourself 100% of the time. The doctors know the human anatomy, but you know your body best. So you need to speak up for yourself. You need to advocate for yourself, right? And I sort of look at parenting the same way. I think when you're searching for parenting advice, the advice given should be a lot of acknowledging what you're going through and a lot of validating how you're feeling, just so you can clear the air, because you're her mom. Like, you are Jovi's mom. You're going to know what she needs more than anybody, more than any book. Like, there are good books of like, hey, this is normal. This is not normal. Like, hey, if they're crying during these months, like, it could be teething or whatever.
Right.
But as far as like parenting advice, you are going to know the best, because the connection there is unparalleled. So I feel like the best advice should just be like a sounding board or listening, being there for each other. And when I would listen to any of the moms in my family, my sister, my aunts, whatever, I never hear them be like, oh, you got to do this. It's always just like, yeah, I totally know how you feel. Or like, yeah, doesn't that suck? It's just a lot of validating each other. And then you feel better to make the better decision.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. But I know nothing about parenting.
Yeah.
You know when there's bad parents, you see them out all the time.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oof. Someone needs to step in right now.
Yeah.
So I think instinctually you have parenting guidance, but...
Yeah, for sure. But basically we know nothing and we're figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to learn much.
I think we will. We're going to learn tons.
And then we're going to have another kid and you're going to be like, oh, that doesn't apply to this one.
Right,
and then you're going to have another one. And
yeah, I guess I feel like just the parenting stuff that does apply is like scientifically researched. Like right now I'm learning what baby-led weaning is, to start giving Jovi solids and, the different techniques to start introducing foods to her. And so I have to look for advice for these things because I know nothing.
Right. And you'll find too, when you're looking for those advice, there's 18 different ways.
Oh, for sure.
So.
And I don't think there's not a right or a wrong way, which is like another thing that I love about this podcast, because I like bringing on people that speak to everything. Like I've brought on a sleep expert who talked about sleep training, but I'm going to be interviewing this lady who, does gentle parenting, and it's not sleep training your baby, but it's still teaching them how to sleep in a completely different way. Yeah. So I think that again, that goes back to, you have to figure out what works best for you and your kid.
It's funny because I'll get a notification that you have a new episode coming out, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll listen to it later, whatever. Like, I'm not a mom, but every week I go to listen to it, and I just think I'll just listen to it, but I always learn something new, and I'm like, should I be learning something?
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm not a mom. But I feel like it's really good information.
So how has our relationship changed since having Jovi?
To keep it PG, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
I feel much closer to you. I feel like our relationship is stronger.
I feel like we have this like added bond.
Yeah.
It's like this extra, I guess bond between us, because it's not just, I guess I pictured before, it's you and like you, me and God, right? Mm-hmm. But then you add in this like new bond of this life that we created and now we love and we nurture together. And it's not an obstacle. It's a bond.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at you differently. You're like, you've grown 100-fold in my eyes. Like who you are as a person, I feel like has come out more. Mm-hmm. And your strength and your like perseverance and tenacity to do anything. Yeah, I just love you a lot more, I think, since we had a kid. I don't know how else to explain it.
I mean,
but like when you see somebody doing what you do, like what moms do, mm-hmm. and then knowing that's your wife and knowing that's your baby, it's kind of hard not to mm-hmm. have a deeper connection and bond.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was at a birth last Friday and it was her second birth and it was way different than her first one, right? But at the end, when the baby came out, it was just such a great moment between the husband and wife. And he was just like singing her praises and he was crying and looking at the baby and looking at her. And I was like, do you feel like you're looking at Wonder Woman right now? He's like, that's exactly how I feel right now. And that's how I feel at births. Like now, especially going through it, it's like, holy crap, women are freaking amazing. What your body can do and what you go through. How could your partner not look at you as like, you're the most amazing thing in the world?
Yeah.
And I understand that fades over time.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously.
You know, but like in that moment, you know, any type of birth, no matter if it's, you know, a belly birth or if you had medication or not, like it's the most amazing thing ever. Yeah,
my sister-in-law had 2 C-sections and my brother talks about it all the time. He's like, I can't believe, you know, mm-hmm. what she went through.
Yeah,
and it's,
her body was cut open for her babies to be here. Mm-hmm.
The moment you had Jovi, mm-hmm. yeah, I mean, out of this world type of feeling that's not I still can't believe, I mean, we talked about it on the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. We did a birth story episode. Yeah, when she came out, that's an unbelievable experience.
Yeah. So do you think that the stress of having a small baby has affected us? Because for me, I definitely feel like it's added stress, but I would say it's good stress. I had moments where I feel like it's bad stress? Absolutely. Have I cried? Have I broke down? Have I, you know, been like, man, this really sucks? Have I had those moments? Yes, for sure. Those moments are usually followed by sleep deprivation, mm-hmm. Or depravity.
Sure.
And like not feeling like I have any time to take care of myself and just not nourishing myself or taking care of myself in any way. And everything's been about the baby because, you know, because I feel like I don't have time.
Do you think it's affected us though?
Well, I'm getting there. So I feel like having a baby has added stress. Has it affected our relationship? Yes, I definitely think that, I mean, it's going to, no matter what. But I wouldn't say in a negative way at all. It's brought up a lot more conversations that we've needed to have, conversations that maybe we didn't talk about before, or trying to decide what's best for your child is hard. And, you know, we both came from homes with similar morals and values, but way different ways of parenting or mm-hmm. being raised, you know? So trying to blend in any circumstance is going to, I think, be tough, you know, because it's like, well, I kind of think we should do this. And it's like, yeah, my family does that and I like that. So how do we find that compromise? And I feel like we've been pretty good at doing that. So I definitely think that having a baby has created some stress, but it's affected our relationship for the positive, just opening conversations, having that deeper bond and a newfound respect for each other. Mm-hmm. That's what I think about stress.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Do you feel like we had enough time with just the two of us before starting a family?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. It's such a ridiculous thing to think about because Did we have fun when it was just us? Yes. Did we travel and whatever? Yes. But no disrespect, it's boring.
No, it's not.
Like, having a family is way more exciting, is way more fulfilling. Our relationship was fulfilling. We did amazing things, you and I. Having a family, though, it's the whole next... It's the reason that I live.
Yeah.
So why delay it any longer? I know we think differently about this.
We think differently on this topic.
But why delay it any longer? Because, I don't know. Like, there's going to be a point where Jovi's old enough where she's taking care of herself, and then we'll have alone time again. Mm-hmm. We will. So I'm not worried about the alone. And we have alone time now.
Yeah.
You know, she goes to bed at 7. Mm-hmm. We go to bed at 9 or whatever, or 10. So we have 3 hours. 3 hours is a long time.
Yeah, but I'm usually finishing up some work. You're working on some stuff right now.
Yeah, we got to get our schedules a little cleaner, but we get alone time. We laugh, and the other night we were dying laughing in bed. Just the two, you know, it's like the whole idea that it's never just you two again. I don't know. Maybe when we have 2 more kids, I'll think differently, but no, we have plenty of time. You need to have a couple good fights, and you need to travel together. Those are my 2 criteria of if you should get married.
We didn't have any good fights before we got married. We
had some good arguments or good debates, I guess. Just about anything, or just you have to be able to see each other in high stress situations. If this is a question about like, should I date a little longer or should I get married soon?
Or have babies or be married for a
Oh, yeah. If you're already married, yeah, I mean, whatever's the number 1 on your list you want to do, go do it, and then go have a kid. That would be my advice.
I don't feel like we had enough time, but...
What would you have liked to have done?
I miss having no responsibility. I miss just you and I, like, being able to do whatever we want.
We do what we want.
No, we don't. No, we don't. And maybe it's not so much as I wish I had more time with just us two. Maybe I just wish I had more time to myself.
No, a life of less responsibility is way easier.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, you're going to regret that or not regret it, you're going to miss it whether it's 10 years from now or right now.
And the thing is, like, I obviously cannot picture my life without Jovi, and I'm so glad that we had her and all of that.
Obviously.
I do miss us just being able to be like, you know, like we're planning on going to see my family in Texas in April, and thinking of traveling with a baby during this time and all this stuff is really stressful to, you know, but if it was just us, we wouldn't have had a problem really going to see them before, you know.
We got to fly Spirit, and we got to get the first class seats. And then you and Jovi sit by the window, and we'll put up a blanket so that nobody gets COVID.
There you go. So, yeah, I mean, it's a different...
Responsibilities suck.
Yeah. I just feel like I never had any in my whole life. Yeah, so... And I feel like we've transitioned from marriage into like parenthood pretty seamlessly.
Because you're awesome.
Because you just don't have a choice. You're like thrown into it.
Right.
But yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
And it's really nice having family around.
Yes, for sure. So since we do have some stress that's changed our relationship, how do we find the time for our marriage and make it a priority in the thick of parenthood? I would say in the thick of it, like right when she was born, you really don't.
Oh, yeah. Right when we brought her home, it was survival mode. Like
the first couple of months, it was, yeah.
Survival mode.
There's no time.
Yeah, no, it's chaos.
I would say that time for our marriage in that time goes into like another question later of like, how can your partner best support you after birth and the beginning of postpartum? I think that during that time, like making our marriage a priority is just like...
not necessary.
no, but I think it's the partner supporting the caregiver.
Right. So there's stages of everything.
Yes.
Of everything. So in some stages, it's time for nurturing certain things. Right when you bring a baby home, it's not about date nights.
Right.
It's survival mode. It's let's get this going. It's survival mode. Mm-hmm. So the best thing I could do as basically a bystander, because I can't really do much when the baby's a baby, is how can I best make your life easier? So if I need to clean the house or rub your feet or whatever, I need to ask you what's going to make your life easier, because if your life's easier, then you're going to help the survival happen better. Mm-hmm. And then after that's done, now she's 5-6 months old. Well, now it's different now. Mm-hmm. Now I come home and like we'll talk to each other, or like during dinner, we have good conversations still, even if she's fussing or whatever. You're kind of multitasking, but it's, we give each other attention. Mm-hmm.
And then, get into a nice rhythm.
Yeah. And then when we have another one, again, it's going to go back to survival mode, and it's going to be even harder because then you're juggling more things. But yeah, I mean, I think a thing we do well is, and not to pat our own backs, but we just communicate, and we are constantly asking each other, like, what can I do to be of service for you? Or like, what can I do to make your life easier? And I feel like we ask each other that maybe once every couple months. Mm-hmm. And even if there's nothing to do, it's nice to know that you're thinking about it.
Right. So, and I feel like we also will say things along the way, like little things, like, hey, it just really helps me out when you do this.
Yeah. Like, just...
Instead of trying to like...
Close the cupboard doors.
Dude, when was the last time you walked into the kitchen and the cupboard doors were open?
Today. You were putting away mugs.
I was putting stuff away. I wasn't done.
And there was too many mugs in the cupboard, and the cupboard wouldn't shut, and you just walked away.
Whatever. But I feel like, yeah, that is really important. But I mean, go ahead.
It's those little things, though. It's those little, what can I do to help you, that add to the nurturing of your relationship. Nurturing to a relationship, to a marriage, doesn't have to be elaborate date nights or eye gazing or whatever. It's the little things of, I love you, I respect you, I see you, what can I do to help? It's the very little thing, at least in our situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the, okay, she sees what I'm doing, I see what you're doing, we're validating each other, this is good, she wants me to do this differently, all right, fine, whatever. And then we know that we're together. We're a team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything huge.
Right. And I feel like, in the thick of it in the beginning was hard, and now it is just different stuff. And we're super fortunate that Jovi's a pretty happy baby. Mm-hmm. And she does a lot of like independent play. So I can get her up from a nap and feed her and put her around a bunch of toys, and she occupies herself for, half hour while I do something. Or if I'm getting ready, she'll just chill there and watch me get ready. And it's pretty easy. She definitely does get fussy sometimes, and you do have to entertain her sometimes. But
I would say after 3:00, she's wanting to be held
more.
A lot.
For sure. Yeah. But is there like I guess that covered the unique way we put each other first, is just kind of asking what we can do for each other.
Knowing your love languages. You introduced me to this.
That's the next question.
Oh, what's the question?
What are your love languages, and do you treat each other differently with those in mind?
Yeah. So knowing your love languages is huge. What I was going to say next is sometimes I forget yours, so I just try to nail all of them. I know the gifts is not on there.
No.
So I don't worry about gifts.
No.
And I know physical touch is not really on there. So not really. And I do plenty of it. It's second nature for me. So I don't have to worry.
We're both very affectionate.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
If you weren't
aspect.
affectionate, it would be on there. Like if you wouldn't kiss me in public, or if you wouldn't hold my hand when we're walking down the street or whatever, then I'd be like, give it to me.
Well, easy. So, yeah. But those are things I don't have to worry about. So what is it? Words? It's words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. Gifts, which I don't have to worry about. Physical touch, I don't have to worry about.
Acts of service.
Acts of service.
Which is yours.
So so that's something I'll do when I notice you're stressed out. I'll just get into this mode where I clean everything and organize everything.
Yeah, I think.
And then what's the fifth one?
Quote, acts of service, gifts, physical touch, quality time.
Quality time, which is yours.
It used to be before we lived together.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So because I never got it, now I still like it. Like, I think that if, we've had this conversation a bunch. Like, if we're going to go out, we always go out with friends. And I'm like, I want to go out. Like, yeah, it's great to spend time with friends and other people, but I want to go out with just you, and have that experience with just you. But quality time for me is like when it's warm outside. Like when I was pregnant, we'd always go for a walk.
Right.
Every night. We'd take Hutch for a walk together, and that was awesome. There's actually scientific research that shows like new couple. What, babe?
You do this every time. We could talk about literally going on a walk. And you're like, well, studies show.
Like people who have been dating during the COVID era have been doing like more like meeting up and going for a walk. And it actually shows that you develop a better bond that way versus like sitting down and looking at each other, like walking alongside each other or sitting next to each other. You open up more about things to somebody.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which going on walks is when we've had a lot of our fights.
Well, it's a lot of our quality time.
Yeah. But yeah, words of affirmation is a really big one to me too. And you're great at it. And even sometimes I think that you can't be afraid to ask for it either. Which I will. I'll be like, how great did I do today? Like, tell me about myself. Like, I'll just ask you, when I feel like I just need a little bit more. Or I'll tell you, I'll be like, oh my gosh, guess what I did today? All these things. And I'm like, I'll wait for your applaud. Like, like just waiting for you to compliment me. And I'm like, oh, thank you, babe. Yours is definitely acts of service.
Yeah.
Acts of service. And what else?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Physical touch. I mean, if you were avoiding my physical touch, it would really do damage. I don't want gifts. Words of affirmation can get annoying for me because I don't believe it.
He doesn't believe it's so ridiculous. So I tell him all these amazing things. He's like, yeah, whatever.
And quality time's nice, but usually I just fall asleep.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I say, let's walk. Let's go out. Because if we're spending quality time, you're just going to like, oh, let's snuggle up and watch a movie. I'm like, I'm going to be watching this alone. So I don't even know why I let you pick the movie out. But yeah, I mean, for me, I've had to learn to like get better at acts of service. And I definitely try. Like, I love taking care of you. Like, I want to cook for you and take care of you. It's like more littler things that I try to like be better at. Yeah.
Acts of service for me is more when I get home and like just the house is put together. Like, that's for us. But for me, it's like, oh, this woman is.
Right. Which doesn't happen that often, I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know if I have love languages.
I would say
like when I was sick the other week or whatever.
Yeah.
Being there for me, that's when I know.
Yeah. Yours definitely is acts of service, and I'm sure that you'd want more of it, and I feel like I try as best as I can right now.
Like you made me tea just now. That was nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Of course I would.
Right, but some people don't.
I pack your lunches.
You do. And all that
I want to nurture you.
Yeah. Okay, that's my love language.
The house is not as clean as I'm sure you would like. But it's not filthy either. But the other day I was mopping and I'm like, I bet Vito's turned on right now.
And did we or did we not?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, we didn't that night. I don't think we did. It got late. You kissed me goodnight and went to bed.
But it was a good kiss.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we try to definitely keep it in mind, and I definitely recommend people to kind of look at that. Hardest part of marriage.
Finances.
Yeah, I guess.
Just deciding what to do to better your future. Mm-hmm. Making decisions now for the next 10, 15 years.
Right. I feel like we're really good at the like the little everyday stuff. We'll like sometimes annoy each other, but we always at the end of the day, like we're laughing. You're so good at like, if I'm like, meh, 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 you just like make me laugh. You turn it into like something where we end up laughing. We just kind of make fun of each other and end up like laughing and letting the little things go.
Well, you're good at letting it go too. Yeah. Because there are some people who don't.
Yeah, I guess.
So, which is why I chose you.
We're both very easygoing.
Yes. So
yeah, I think it would be like bigger decisions for the future. Like right now we're trying to figure out, should we do this? Because maybe we could do that in the future, or do we not? You know, it's really hard trying to figure out what to do. Especially when you want to. And
even just work in general, you know, especially with this pandemic, people have been laid off for something that's completely out of their control.
Right.
So, you know, it opens your eyes to things like, man, we really have no control in this world. And so I guess that kind of stresses me out, because if I wasn't married, whatever, you know, I don't need that much. But now that we're married and have a family and a house and everything that comes with it, I would say finances probably.
Right, because we also, again, want to be able to like do things together in the future.
Yeah, and you want to make sure there's food on the table in case you get laid off for a year and a half or whatever it's been. Right. You know, we've been super blessed, but it could happen to anybody, you know? So I would say that's the biggest stressor, at least for me. I don't know about what for you.
Just responsibility.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like marriage isn't that hard so far. I mean, people say after the 2-year mark, so we might have to circle back to this question when it's harder. Adding another kid, I'm sure, will have its own stresses.
I worked with a kid. He's a really nice guy, and he had 9 brothers and sisters, and they lived in Rhode Island.
Wow.
And he showed me a picture. They did like a reunion. He was only like in his 20s, I think, 21 or something, when I was working with him. And he's like, oh, yeah, we kind of just did a reunion. All the kids live all over the country.
Yeah.
And the parents are kind of like younger, but they were like fit. You could tell they were travelers. And the picture of them was in a forest, and there was 11 of them, you know, with the parents. And I'm like, how the heck did they do that? That's so many kids.
My mom was one of 9.
That's so many.
I know.
Yeah, all my grandparents were at least one of 8. And they had nothing.
Right.
And they made it work.
Right.
And they didn't kill anybody that I know of. So it's like they handle the stress.
But that's what I always say.
You should try to get that 27 and counting person on or whatever.
Like, it's always going to work out. This? You know, like even with finances, when it's been stressful, it's, it's going to work out. You know?
Yeah. Faith that's one thing that life has kind of pushed in my face is, hey, you ready to have faith yet? Because
you got it.
None of this is in your control.
Exactly. So, having a kid, I feel like, is just not in your control.
Well, even everything that happened with Jovi and even with your first pregnancy and stuff, you have no control. And then everything went great with Jovi. And then as she was coming out, or when she was in the womb, she aspirated. And then we're in the NICU for a week. And then it's like, oh, okay, you could do everything right.
Right.
None of it's in your control.
Right.
So maybe that's the biggest stressor.
All right. So this one's a little, sexual.
Okay.
Sex post baby, was it hard? That's what she said. You know what? I have to be honest. So at first it was.
In what way? Just pain?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first time we tried was like 4 weeks postpartum. And honestly,
I thought we waited 6 weeks.
No, we did not.
You little horn dog.
Babe. Come on. So I would say the first time, it was 4 weeks in it. Honestly, there was some pain with it up until about 3 months postpartum, about 12-ish weeks. And I felt like that's when it started to get better. Pain-wise.
I vaguely remember this.
I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
I just know that that's around when we did it. I could pull up my fertility tracking app and see. But I know a lot of people struggle with it, and I think that it's something that you guys both just kind of have to figure out together.
How was your confidence postpartum?
Oh, I think that I did struggle with that. I don't now, like with you, but I think at the beginning it was hard.
With me?
Yeah.
Who else do you have in sex with?
No, I mean, like, I'm confident, like, around other people, but you're the one that sees me naked, basically.
Oh, okay.
You know, at the beginning, it kind of was hard because I didn't, like, after she came out, I didn't necessarily have loose skin, but just, like, this pooch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which isn't fully gone.
It's a good way to describe it.
And it's like, I didn't feel sexy in my body. Mm-hmm. So I think that it was hard at first.
Did it affect you while we were being intimate?
I think sometimes. I'm like, oh, great, he's going to look down and just see these rolls in this position. Great. You know? But then I'm like, he's getting laid, so he probably... He's just like boobs. That's it. You know, so I think it did for sure for a while. But I also just like tell myself that you love me, and you tell me all the time. You're like, babe, your body's amazing. Look at what it did. You know, you're not condescending toward me at all. You always like lift me up. So that makes it easier, especially when you like can't keep your hands off me all the time. I'm like, oh, he just loves me.
Even though you pushed me away today.
Babe, that was today. But I mean, I know that it can be really hard. So there's like a few things to keep in mind with sex post-baby. After it's been a certain amount of time, if it's still painful, that is not normal. So I would definitely seek pelvic floor therapy help. And also breastfeeding can really mess with your hormones. A lot of people experience a lot of vaginal dryness or lack of libido, and breastfeeding can kind of mess with that. So I would just talk to maybe your provider and see if it could be a hormone thing with your breast, if you are breastfeeding. And if not, then just your hormones could be off and it could take a while to balance them out, or you can work with somebody to maybe get on some supplements to help with that.
You went through something like that. You didn't know if your libido was affected, but I don't remember when. I just remember the one day it switched back on. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. This is how it was before.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because you were like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, we can have sex. But then something switched, I don't know, month, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, go upstairs right now. And I was like, yeah, Liz is back.
Yeah, I think it was like the first three months. It was like right around the new year, maybe 4 months. Yeah. So I feel like, babe, too, that came with, though, I got my period back. So a lot of times when people are breastfeeding, it pushes their period later, which changes your hormones completely. But I full on got my period back at 3 months. So my cycles are regular. So my hormone cycles are regular. Mm-hmm. So I'm ovulating, you know, I'm having those different cyclical natures every single month. So I'm like back to my...
Ovulating Liz is a dangerous human.
Oh boy. And I am right now, and I slapped your hands away earlier.
You are right now?
Yeah, I told you. This
I
is my
would
fertile
never
week.
guess.
Yeah, remember?
Because usually you don't slap my hands away.
Because I was trying to get dinner ready. I was literally going to burn myself if I didn't like hurry up and finish dinner.
It's the danger that made it more erotic.
It's the next question, which we lead to. When are we trying for baby number 2?
May 1st. No, I don't know. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, like Vito was saying, he was ready right away.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. It's no rush.
Well, I just starting to work out again, and for me, it's more about some people ask, like, what did we do to prepare ourselves for trying to conceive? Like, were there any tips or supplements? For me, like, I want to get a little bit healthier before.
Definitely less sugar.
Yes.
You sugar fiend.
Dude, I don't know what happened to me.
Just lately.
No, it started when I was like 7 months pregnant. When I started eating more sugar, and then I cut back, and then I eat more sugar, and then I cut back, and then I eat more sugar, and then I cut back. It's been off and on. 'Cause right after I had Jovi, everybody was bringing us food and whatever, and I was just addicted to sugar, and then I got better. Now I'm addicted again.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready is the answer.
Well, I would like to be eating clean for a few months before we start trying.
Are you giving me those prenatals again?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
So supplements, there are male prenatals. Vito asks, am I giving it to him? Because I just give him supplements to take every day, and he just blindly swallows a handful of pills.
Yeah.
There's a male prenatal supplement called Nutriverve, which I love. I would say, I mean, I'm definitely not an expert in the area. I would listen to a couple of podcasts that we've had on before. There's one on sperm health that is actually really, really important. A male factored infertility is 40%. If you listen to the episode with Fertility Friday or check out her podcast, she's an awesome resource. The sperm health episode. And I recently just did an episode with Nora. I can't remember her last name, but she's a prenatal health coach. And she talks a lot about preparing your body before pregnancy.
Cool.
So those would definitely be good resources to check out. And then
we could say we're going to start trying this year, though, for sure.
Yeah, in 2021.
Yeah. Well, some people like to put a couple years in between.
I don't know if I would, but I just feel like we don't necessarily have time because I'm 34 and we would like to have a large family if possible, and if we don't change our minds at some point.
Yeah. So sometime this year we'll start.
Yeah. Because by the time I'm 40, I would like to be done.
Okay.
Although my grandma had my mom at 42 or 40.
My cousin just had a baby at 41. Mm-hmm. It's possible.
No, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
It's just I want to be done because I want our kids to grow up, and then I want it to be just us again.
Yeah. But by the time we're 80, babe, life expectancy is going to be like 300.
Okay. That's what they said 80 years ago.
Yeah, we're going to be babies.
Okay. And then let's see. Oh, does it scare us to have 2 under 2 if we end up getting pregnant this year? No.
The goal is 3 under 2.
Babe, oh my gosh, you're out of control.
Is that even possible?
If we had twins.
Oh, ooh, that would be fun. Let's do twins.
Okay. Let's plan it.
I wonder if there's a way.
I don't want to.
No, 2 under 2. Nah. We can do it.
Then we just have a couple questions about Jovi. Oh, wait. How has being a mama changed my work as a doula? Any tips or insights? So I think that it's changed me, like I said, just kind of being like, holy crap.
Really appreciating what they're going through. And
Yeah. Just like next level. Like I always loved watching birth before and being a part of it. Now, and I feel like I have a whole nother level of empathy. Like when they're like, this last birth, oh my gosh, she's like screaming, pushing the baby out. And I'm like feeling it with her, even though I didn't feel Jovi's head come out. Mm-hmm. But I felt labor pains, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's so strong. Like she, you feel this whole nother level of empathy of being there for them and just really wanting to support them the best way that you can. Mm-hmm. So, how is Jovi sleeping, and did we follow a plan? So I was just reading something the other day that by like 6 months, your baby should be sleeping through the night. And that is just not our story, and that's okay. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like it goes back to that. So many different people are going to say different things, and there's so much tips and advice and whatever. And we did, I took a couple of sleep courses, and then I ended up working with the Cradle Coach. You can look her up on Instagram, and that tended to be the one that worked the best for us. because like we had a phone call and she got to know like our parenting philosophy and all these different questions. Whereas there's some just kind of generic courses you can take that's like one size fits all, whereas hers was very individualized. And, you know, we had a really nice conversation. She helped put together a plan. And I feel like that's what really helped us with sleep for her to actually get her on a schedule. Because before I would try to do bedtime around the same time, but her naps were very sporadic.
Yeah.
And I feel like now that we have a schedule, like it's basically on cue every morning at the same time, she is ready for that nap.
Yeah.
For that morning
and
nap.
she sleeps well at night. She has bad nights and she has really good nights.
Right. Like last night, her first hour of sleep or her first stretch was 7 hours.
Right.
Then she got up at 8 and slept another 4 or no, 3.5, 8, went back to sleep for like another 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and the night before that, she was up a lot, but she's usually, I mean, before we did the sleep training, she was literally up 5 to 7 times a night.
We would put her down, and within the 60 minutes on the dot, she'd wake up. Mm-hmm. So whatever you're doing a certain plan. It's working for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could it work better? Are there alterations we could make so that she does sleep through 14 hours or whatever? 12? I don't know what they're supposed to get. 12?
10 to 12.
I have no idea.
10 to 12,
I don't know.
think.
I wonder.
We're definitely still working on naps, but yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like she does fine. It works for us. I don't mind getting up and feeding her now. It was just when it was that 5 to 7 hours, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can check out the Cradle Coach. And then somebody asked about our cloth diaper experience.
I thought it was going to be terrible. It's actually really nice. It's just like a normal diaper. I don't know. Everyone expects it to be. Even my family's like, "You guys are doing cloth. Isn't it so much more work?" And it's not.
But you're also not the one washing it.
The washing part, yeah, you would have to tell me. But even if you get enough of them, it's not like you're constantly they're probably in the washer a couple times a week, maybe.
I do them probably every 3 days.
Right. So, yeah, 2 days a week.
2 to 3 times a week.
So, and they look comfortable. And what I like, too, is when she soils herself, she'll tell you right away. Where with the other ones, you might not know for a while, and then she's just sitting in her own poo because a lot of it's absorbed. But with the cloth diapers, she's like, "Hey, this does not feel good." So, change me,
Yeah.
But there's no explosions.
She's never had an explosive diaper.
Yeah,
because
they got
which is nice.
Which brand do we use?
Assembly.
Because they have two, I don't know.
The inner shell and outer shell.
There's no pins or nothing. It's buttons, and we don't have to buy the right size. There's 2 sizes or something. Newborn
well, she's been in these
toddler.
Ones, right? She'll be in these ones up till a certain point, and then
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice that we're not spending money on diapers all the time. I do use disposables overnight, and that's when she has her explosions.
Yeah, we have a good blend
in the morning
of what are they called? Not cotton. What are they called?
Cloth diapers.
Cloth and disposable. When we bring her to my parents' house or something, or
when I was at the birth, when I was gone all day, I just put her in a disposable that morning,
right?
So your mom wouldn't have to
you don't
collect dirty diapers all day,
right? I guess what I'm saying is you don't have to be one or the other.
Yeah,
and the one's no better or worse than the next. It's just different. It's, do you want to be constantly running to the store for disposables, or do you want to try to save the environment or whatever?
Yeah. What's nice though is that the last time I bought disposable diapers was over a month ago.
Yeah.
So for me, it's nice that I'm not doing a Target run all the time because I'm not taking her in and out of stores right now.
Yeah. The cloths, though, they're pretty pricey, no?
It can be a bigger upfront cost.
Over time, it evens out.
Yeah.
Because they last for...
Well, we'll be able to use these
multiple kids, yeah.
Right. For all our kids, maybe. There are a couple of brands that I want to try out as well.
Okay.
Somebody gave me a tip that these 1 overnight ones are great. So I might look into that. But, cool. I like it. I did think that it had a little bit of getting used to, but now I don't even think about it.
Well, we'll talk again too when she starts pooping.
When I have to flush her turds down the toilet. It's so disgusting. I'm going to have so many gag attacks, babe.
Yeah. You are the gag attack queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you the video of you gagging, and you should share it with your Facebook group. It's so funny.
I don't want to.
It's so funny.
My gags are so loud and obnoxious. Laughing just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And it's weird because pregnancy does that to you, too. Remember when I was pregnant, I would gag every time I brushed my teeth.
And every time you touched chicken. Not even the smell.
No.
The touch of chicken.
I don't remember that. I think it was a short-lived experience.
Yeah, but it was funny. It was a good time.
But yeah, so cloth diapering's dope.
Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm. That's all the questions we have. I cut it off early because I didn't. I stopped taking questions at a certain time. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll do another one eventually. Probably the next time we have a kid.
Mm-hmm. Another birth story.
I loved having you on, though, babe. I loved chatting with you.
Thank you.
This to me is quality time.
Oh, 100%.
And that's why we love doing our other podcast, too, because that's like date night. It's quality time for us.
Yeah.
To just laugh and have a good time.
We usually get ourselves into trouble on that podcast.
We do, yes. And I just want to tell you, at the beginning, you said something about not being a great dad, and you are. You're an amazing father.
Okay.
The way that Jovi looks at you, guys, she doesn't talk as much for me, but she loves talking to Vito. And in the morning, he's usually gone for work, but on the weekends, I'll bring her into bed in the morning, and she just loves snuggling up to him and talking to him. And at story time at night, she just stares at you and loves.
I know, it's so annoying. So I'm reading this book, trying to show her the pictures, and she's just staring at me
because she loves
you
rubs so much.
She rubs my beard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's cute.
You're an amazing father, and she loves you so much.
Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, guys, make sure that you okay. Make sure that you guys follow us on Instagram, and that you subscribe to the podcast, and that you join our Facebook group where we have lots of great conversations. Next week, I am having on Tammin, who is an actress in Pretty Little Liars.
What?
She is pregnant. And I think you pronounce her last name Sursock.
I low-key love that show.
Do you? Have you watched it?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You're crazy.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good show.
Yeah, so she's going to be on. She is pregnant with her first, so I'm super excited to talk to her because she's also from South Africa, which is one of my favorite countries.
Nice.
So.
Elon Musk is from South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So.
That's my boy.
There you go.
And share the podcast with your friends who will love the information, because, like I said, you got some awesome info on this. And I like listening to it.
Thanks. And send me people or topics that you want to hear as well. All right. Love you guys. Have a great week.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies, and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy podcast on your podcast app.